Assalamualaikum to Dr. Harini. So today I will present about my progress tree, which is combination media. Okay, so here I want to talk about infographic first. This is the 5W1H. Okay, when is after teacher teaches the topic, who all students will get involved in the activity, how the class will play the game together with their group member. Why? To make sure students understand the lesson of the day. Besides, students will feel interesting and enjoy for the lesson. What? The game is based on theory learning and where the activity will held in classroom. And then this is the another one. Okay, this is I created spin the wheel game. So the making process for the material, I'm using Microsoft PowerPoint software, and the purpose for students can see and more understand about the topic, and they can have fun at the same time. Next is the list of activity. So for the list activity in this session, students will play a game as activity for ice breaking between lesson period. Besides, it's still related to the lesson. For this session, students will divide it into 5 groups. Each group consists 4 or 5 for playing spin the wheel game and answer the question on each number chosen on the wheel. Students will only have 1 minute to read, discuss and answer the question. So in addition, students are not allowed to open book. Okay, this is the my media use, Microsoft PowerPoint. So I created a lot of number question here, and if students spin this wheel, they will get a random number of question and then click and this question will come out. Okay, for the next is advantages for teacher. So the theory learning is not easy to deliver. So with this way, it is easy to give students greater understanding about the lesson. So the advantages for students is, since it is a theory learning about theory of Western printmaking, students might get bored, and students will be fresh and excited to learn the lesson with playing a game provided by teacher. So next is the characteristic of learners. So based on the era of 21st learning, student nowadays is more to use gadget every day. Moreover, it can make student be more enjoy in the class while learning. So I realized that nowadays teenagers really love gadget and games. So I took that opportunity to create a not so advanced game but still can enjoy it. Okay, next is the how to motivate students based on ARCS model. So here is A, student will realize how the interactive learning through playing game. R, the game is about the history of Western printmaking which related to the lesson. C, they will discuss with their groups together, which can make students be more active in giving ideal learning process. So as the game will lead students to be creative thinker, cooperate and competitive. So the technology used here, I mentioned before, spin the wheel game. As we live in the era of 21st century, with youngsters are more attractive to some media like video and games. I created a game which consists some question that related to the lesson. I am using game as the activity because I want my student be more active and understand in learning. Moreover, it is a theory topic. So I created spin the wheel game as an ice-breaking session in between teaching and learning process. So here is the reason for choosing media. The media that I chose was for generate students' understanding while they can discuss with their groups. And the second one is students can be more active in learning process. So here is the title categories of visual. I chose analogical. So analogical is to convey a concept by showing something else and amplifying implying a similarity, so I choose spin the wheel game, is because it can enhance students' level of understanding in the lesson period. Besides, it helps teacher to deliver the topics easily because theory learning is not easy to deliver. So with this way, it is easy to give student greater understanding about the lesson. So I thought that while students are learning the topic, they also can play a game. And here is the phase 1, planning and need analysis. So here is the spin the wheel game. I am using game because it can enhance to the understanding for the topics. In between game would help students will active discussing the answer, and it can gain great memory for the topics. And the objectives here is to make students have interest on the lesson. Second one is to make it fun on learning process, and the third to make students active in learning process. And the target user is Form 4 students. So here is the multimedia development. Okay, this is the edit process of the game. So it's quite easy because it is have a lot of difficulties on this wheel only, but the rest of the slides is okay. So here is using a sure model to design and develop the product. So here is analyze learner, teacher 1 person, students 35, age is 16 years old, which is Form 4, boys 11% and girls 14%. So here is the objectives: generate students' understanding while they play game. Students can see clearly about the characteristic of artwork for each century in Western printmaking, and then to have an ice breaking session in lesson so they can feel more relaxed. So here is the select method, media and material. So the method is spin the wheel game, media Microsoft PowerPoint, and the material is same as media Microsoft PowerPoint software. And here utilize material and media, prepare the material, so Microsoft PowerPoint, and then students will get their turn to spin and answer the question. So next is prepare the environment. Okay, here is the rules. Students will divide it into 5 groups. Each group consists 4 to 5 person for playing spin the wheel game, and answer the question on each number chosen on the wheel. So student will only have 1 minute to read, discuss and answer the question. In addition, students are not allowed to open book. Okay, next is the prepare the learners. Teacher will give instruction on the rules of the game. Okay, it is a common thing that before playing a game, right? Okay, and then to provide the learning experience, students will get exciting discussion about the topic while playing the game, and then students will not get bored easily on the learning process. So here is the required learners participation. Students will be divided into groups, and each group consists 4 to 5%. Okay, they evaluate and revise. Teacher will discuss the answer with student after each group answer the question. So teacher will discuss every characteristic depends on the question. It depends on each question. So there is no at the end of the class, teacher will discuss all questions together. So next is applying Gartner 9 events of instruction to the product. So here is the gain attention. After the topic has covered, teacher will tell the students about play a game and ask them to divide some group first by not telling them about what game they are going to play. Students will get surprised on teacher instruction. Alright, I decided to not to tell the students first about the game, so they have to divide the group first. So here is the inform learner about the objectives. To sharpen their knowledge about the topic. Second one, to cooperate between group member, and then the third one is to have fun during teaching and learning process. Next is stimulate recall of peer learning. Teacher will giving the students some hints of the characteristic about the topic. Okay, for each topic, sometimes it might get difficult question. So I will give my students some hints about to answer the question. And the next is the present the stimulus. Teacher will tell the rules and instruction on how to play the game. Besides, teacher will demonstrate too. So I will demonstrate like how to spin the wheel, about the turn of the group, and how to answer the question. And then next is provide learning guidance. Teacher will throw some hints of characteristic of for each question they get. Elicit performance. Student will discuss with group members about the answer of the game. And then they provide feedback. Student will playing the game until the end and will recall some important points of the topic. Assess performance question from the spin the wheel game. I only using the question that I created. And then enhance retention and transfer. Teacher will ask them about the lesson from the game for what they has gained from the game and topic. Okay. Alright, now I will talk about my ABM and BBM for the combination media for the presentation 3. So, as I explained it before, this activity is to test my student knowledge while playing game. So the activity is more like to ice-breaking session. Since I will teach them a theory topic, so the student might get bored easily or maybe sleepy. So I created this game for fun. Alright, this activity requires students to divide into 5 groups, and each group consists 4 to 5%. So the rule is that each group have to follow their turn to spin the wheel. After they get the number of questions, they only have 1 minute to read, to discuss among them, and to answer this question. So if they cannot answer the question, they have to pass their turn to the other group. But the most important things is during the discussion, every student cannot discuss or cannot open any book to find the answer. They have to remember or recall the lesson that I teach them before. So let's take a look to the game. Alright, so now I will show you how to play the game and the rules. So here I will click. It is a full screen. Okay, now this is the title is Uji Minda, and here is the wheel, and here is the button to click, and then the wheel will spin. So the rules is every groups have their turn one by one, and I will click the button for them. So here, let's say it's a first group, so I will click here and click again for stop, and here is number 2, so they get this question. So they only have 1 minute to read, discuss, and answer. So after they already answer the question, so I will click here for the jawapan, for the answer. So the answer will come out like this. Okay, and then for the next group, I will click here spin to spin again for the next group. So here, let's say I will spin and stop. Okay, so I will spin again because it's not either 6 or 7. Okay, number 3. But here is another question, and the rule is the same. Only you have 1 minute to read, discuss and answer, and click. And I will click the answer like this, and then speak. Okay, let's say it will stop at number 4, because I want to show you about another question, like visual question. So here is a visual question which I already prepared for them, and still same, they have to look at the characteristic on the visual. So before this, for another question, for the others question, I will wrote a characteristic into writing. So here they will see and analyze the characteristic on the visual, and then still the same, only have 1 minute to analyze, read the question, discuss and answer, and then I will click. So like this. Okay, so every question it have the same rule. Okay, that's all. Thank you.